Hey, this is Henny from Pink Elephant Media, and in this section we're going to talk about SEO. Now, SEO is short for search engine optimization. And what this is basically it is the words that you use on your site to let the search engines understand what your website is about. So the search engines have two major functions. One is to index and crawl every website out there, and the other is to deliver back to the searcher the result in which they're looking for. For the search engines to be able to deliver back the search that they are looking for, they need to really understand what your website is about. And that way it feels certain to deliver those results. So we're going to discuss ways in which today you can make the search engine certain. It also looks at other surrounding factors, like how long people have spent on your site. So that's the dwell time. The longer that people stay, the more they read, the more they click, the more important the search engines will see your website. So looking at the content, which we went over in an earlier module, is incredibly important, because if people are engaged with that content, they're going to do all of those things. If you've got those downloads, if you've got the training, they are going to spend more and more time on your website, and therefore you will rise through the rankings. So the more traffic you've got, the longer they stay, the more engaged they are, the more visibility you will get. So search engine optimization works hand in hand with all of the other ways of driving traffic. One of the unique things about search engine optimization, it is one of the few ways in which your website can attract traffic to it. Direct links, pay-per-click, social media marketing, and to some extent, or quite a large extent, email marketing, all happen outside of your website, pushing traffic into it. So these are ways in which you can attract traffic into your site. The benefits of good organic traffic coming into your site is once it's there, it's delivered month after month after month. And we've got some articles on our site that are delivering huge sums, sometimes 1,000 to 2,000 visitors a month, based on keyword intent. And so those visitors are then seeing an ad for the product or the service that we deliver, and they are clicking through. So that means that we will consistently be rising through the search rankings, and you can do exactly that too. It will decrease your pay-per-click costs, because if you're number one or number two, you don't necessarily need to advertise for those clicks, because you're already more likely to get it. It has one of the highest rates of return on investment. If you spend a bit of time investing into your search engine optimization, you will continuously see that organic traffic building and building and building and building. So if your site's at something like 200 to 300 visitors a month, this is an area that if you invest in over a sort of 6-month period, you will begin to see some real results. It also allows you to steal some of your competitors' traffic. So if you're both competing for the same keyword and your search engine optimization has been added correctly to your site, that will allow you to start to compete for those clicks on important keywords. It also lets the search engines understand what your website is about. So it's got that certainty of delivering you back as a search result. And it also increases your site usability. So I've used Amazon here as an example, but here you can see if I wanted to go through to books, that has shortened my sales funnel. Or if I want to go through to the home and garden store, that will shorten the sales funnel straight through there, because for every click you make people make, you'll lose about 30% of your audience. And if you click your Google Analytics and go under behavior chart flow, you will see how many people are dropping off on your pages. And that's really key to keep taking a look at your bounce rates and your drop-off rates. Are they taking the journey that you are expecting them to take? If not, how do we strengthen those keywords? Also, the keywords have to reflect what it is that they're going to see. You don't want to click on homes and gardens on Amazon and end up in the bookstore. So you've got to make sure that your site has the right keywords and they are added in the right place. So we spoke earlier a little bit about some of the tools that we use. So keywords everywhere, which allowed us to identify the keywords on the page. That's the Chrome extension. 123 MetaClick, which allows us to see what their title tag and what their meta tag description is. What are we trying to beat? But another tool that we use is SEMRush, which I know I've mentioned in another tutorial, but this, I'm just going to show you exactly what this allows us to do. It is an agency tool, but it is a tool that a number of my clients do use because it is such a useful tool to have within a business. So how SEMRush works is you have to create an account with SEMRush. They do have a 3-month trial. It's definitely worth taking a look at. But what we wanted to understand is what keywords your competitors are using. So if Converse was a competitor of mine and you're looking for competitors of a similar sort of stage of business, because these are the people we're trying to beat right now. But that doesn't mean that you can't copy the best and the best. You absolutely should copy the best, because even if you take 2 to 3% of their market share, that's still a large amount of traffic. Now, what SEMRush allows us to do is it will tell us what their authority score is. So that's ranked from 1 to 100, 1 being not very, being a sort of spammy site, not very good site, to 100 being the best. So they've ranked Converse at 2. So first of all, this gives me a very clear idea of whether it's a good site to copy or not. It also shows me the growth of their organic traffic. So are they getting the right keywords or not? And it will show me exactly what keywords they are using to drive traffic into their site and how much of that traffic is coming into their site. So here you can see where they're position number 1 for, how much traffic that is, and the percentage of their traffic that this is delivering. So if I just order that a little bit more, here we go. So of 246,000 people searching Converse monthly, they get 196,000 and it lands on that page. And here we can see how competitive a keyword. 1 is a highly competitive keyword. 0.01 is not. So what we're looking for really ideally is large traffic, low competition, but the keyword has got to be right. So your research has got to be spot on. We're also going to be looking for associated keywords like we said before, but this gives us a really, really clear idea as to exactly what keywords to use or to not. So if you could tell that one of your clients has not got a keyword that has low competition but is delivering a lot of traffic to your competitors, that is an instant key of where of an opportunity that we could get in front of the same audience with the same type of keywords. And if, for example, we were going to go after the keyword Converse, even though this is a brand name, so a slightly bad example, we would then go to that page, we'd look at what their title tag was using the SEO one-click. And here you can see it says Converse Original Store, exactly what it's what the meta description is. And we would analyze the page using keywords everywhere and analyze the page content for all the words that it was using on that page to reach that top spot. So we are no longer guessing what the keywords are that need to be used. We absolutely know what they are going to be. There is, however, a complete game changer, and that is Schema Markup. Now, Schema Markup, to give you an example, was applied to one of our client sites in September 2019. They don't do any advertising, they don't do any social because they have a rather controversial subject. So therefore, they solely rely on organic traffic. So Schema was applied to their site in September 2019, and here you can see the growth. You can see their business dropping as the pandemic hits, and then you can see the growth immediately taking off as the economy begins to start back up again. Now, the reason why this happened is because the schema markup was applied, and it has allowed us to grow the keywords exponentially month on month on month on month. So here you can see they've got 740 keywords in the top 3, 1,198 in the top 10. I cannot say how important it is for a business to have knowledge of search engine optimization within their business, because this allows you to take the power into your hands. Having ongoing SEO is relatively expensive, but it is critical to seeing business growth as the time goes on. So people with not very large budgets really should learn this, because it allows you to take the power into your hands. So what is schema? So schema is a code, a semantic code that you add to your website. Now that sounds very, very scary, but it allows us to tell the search engines what this website is about. We can say if there are reviews on the page, if it's a local business, if it's an article that we've written, a course, a product, a service, a recipe, a person, a job listing, posting, book, event or video, object or software application. The list is endless. If you've got a hotel business, we can say how many rooms, what prices. It basically takes away any uncertainty. And you've often seen the results of schema markup being shown when you do searches. So here we've got some shopping things which shows the reviews. It's pulling through what it is. So if you've typed in kitchen blender as an example, or KitchenAid, you will be bringing up these sort of reviews, and they tend to be sort of featured listings. Jobs is another example. When you type into jobs now, you see Google jobs right at the top. That is pulling data off websites, and you're going to see this more and more because of the use of voice technology and the way that Google is working. They often try and show as much information on the page now as possible, which really stops people from clicking. So what we need to do is give them incentives to click through, to get over that. Again, featured top stories, ultimate winter bliss bowl recipe. Now, how to add schema to your site is actually really, really simple. If you have a website like WordPress, where you can add a schema markup code into it, and this really splits down what it is. It will just say you pick local business, and there's a drop down that says when are your opening hours, and you literally click buttons and put that information in there, and that then feeds through to your website, into the search engine results. And again, there is a whole course on this, but it really is very easy. You can check how much schema your templates have built into them already by using the Google Structured Data Testing tool. There is now one for rich snippets, so this one is going to become obsolete relatively soon, but it's a really nice, easy one to use. I'll put the links to both in below. Because I know this one will be phased out relatively shortly and replaced with the rich snippet ones, but they'll work in exactly the same way. So all you do is put your URL in, and here you can see we've got legal service, that it's a legal service, the product that it's got, and the details of that. And here you can see the reviews that were added to that site. So I'm just going to show you what that actually looks like in real life. And here you can see on our web design page, we have got the fact that we're offering a professional service, what the professional service is, a description on it, our telephone number, the price, the ratings, the postal address of where we are. All of that information is getting pulled through from our website. And if you look onto our website, I'm going to bring that in just to give you a quick overview. You can see down the bottom that the service has been added, and this is the schema part where we add the details in. So here you can see it's going to pull all that information through, and if it can't put it through, then you can add it yourself into there. So it's actually really easy to do it. It's just knowing what to do. And as you can see, by adding it how quickly that growth actually occurs. And so really adding search engine optimization, or schema markup in particular, is absolutely key. So making sure that when you're developing a website that it has schema capabilities, even if you don't do that for yourself, that you either employ an agency that does, or take the course that we've created that's got a whole section on how to add schema markup into your site. It really is actually very simple when you start to get going and doing it. But if you don't, I guarantee that you will be missing out in the future as things move more and more into voice technology, which is why that's why schema's been created, so that it gives the search engines a really clear idea of where a company is based, where it operates, how many areas it's in, what price points it's in, to deliver you back as a search. You will be left very, very quickly behind as other companies begin to move into that area. And because it's relatively new, you can see quite young companies very, very quickly overtaking in search rankings the big companies who have these juggernaut of sites that will take a very, very long time to start to optimize with this on there. And it's a huge, huge expense. So they often rest on their laurels in regards to making these updates. And sometimes, because their systems are bespoke, they are obstructed from being able to do so. So at the moment, this is a massively big, quick win that you can add to your site to get ahead of your competitors.